Okay. Okay, so you are still like a year away, no?
Yeah,
Good. Good, good, good. Yeah, I was thinking about that because you sound you sound pretty young, but I don't know. I didn't know if you were at school or you already finished.
I'm 20 years old. Well,
20. Wow.
almost 21.
Dude, that's crazy. I thought you were young, older.
Yeah.
That's super interesting. Okay, very nice. Well, anyway, I was just wondering about your school and everything, and you are in perfect time then. Perfect, perfect time. Let's hope you can pass your English soon.
Yes, I would like to to work in maybe in another country. Yeah,
Oh,
with
yes.
English, my opportunities, uh, well, multiply my opportunities.
Totally, totally. You have the chance to do whatever you like. That's
Yeah.
super nice, man. Super, super nice. All right, perfect. What about Isaac and Sylvie? Are you there? Are you able to speak? Where are you guys?
Sure, I'm at home. However, Silvana, yeah, I'm not sure where she is because
Okay.
he worked for a few minutes more, so
She.
maybe
She
he will
worked.
be able. Sorry, yeah, she will be able to speak more, maybe later.
Good, good. Okay, then let me know, please, whenever you're ready, so we can start speaking. But first, we're gonna have the last part of our lesson. Okay,
Okay.
precisely. Let's start with the lesson of today. And yesterday we finished with the the usage of passive voice, no? In what occasions we use passive voice. Um, what can you tell me about what we saw yesterday? What did you learn yesterday, in a nutshell? Who can tell me? Who wants to start?
We learn about the pastime.
Past time incomplete. What kind of past or why? Why past? Are you speaking about past time, or you are talking about the grammatical form of the verb? What are we talking about?
Yeah, the grammatical way of the verb.
Okay, so you're talking about grammar, right?
Yeah.
Nice. There is a lot of
Mm.
there was something else yesterday, and I tried to avoid using grammar yesterday. Try to remember and make memory. What did we see yesterday? Who can help Rafa? Can you help Isaac?
But um, like another way to avoid a subject or uh, a situation, uh, as you have in this slide, and the boss invite her to the party.
Mhm.
It's an example, because usually maybe in a basic way you can say this sentence with another words.
Right, right, precisely. And you can, and it's like other words in this case would be to change the protagonism,
Yeah. Or,
right?
yeah.
That's precisely the good. It's precisely a good way, or a good way to start is yes, you say the same idea with other words, but what other words? Well, changing the protagonism of the person that is mentioned,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
For
That
example, in this case, would be she was invited by her boss to the
Exactly.
party. Yeah,
Exactly. And the boss is now less important, and probably in some contexts is obvious.
yeah,
Probably the boss invited everybody, and obviously he invited her too. No.
yeah.
In what occasions do we need to change the protagonism of the person?
Um,
Yesterday we mentioned three, no, two occasions in which
can,
it's necessary.
can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, of course. In which occasions it's necessary to change the protagonism of the person?
The last part, change the protagonist.
To change the protagonism of the person that is mentioned.
Ah, okay.
Why is it, or in what occasions? In what occasions is necessary to do that?
When you want uh make a emphasize um yeah, other person of their
Close, 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 close.
other
Let
character
me
of the
of
yeah,
the story,
yeah,
right? Okay, let's correct that. That is important. And emphasize.
emphasize.
This
Okay,
is the verb.
Emphasize.
Uh-huh.
emphasize. Yeah,
Emphasis is the concept, and emphasize is the verb.
emphasize.
And
Okay,
precisely when you want to, can you repeat your idea?
yeah. When you want emphasize another character of the story.
Nice. More specific, which other character in the story? We saw yesterday the specific name of this second character.
Protagonist.
The protagonist is the subject, the principal person. What is the name of the person who receives the action?
Um,
It's on the formulas up there.
oh yeah. Object.
Object.
Yeah,
So, in the first occasion is when you want to emphasize
the object.
attention to the object. Very good. Very, very good. That's the first occasion, or one of no, the usage number one of passive voice. Usage number two, when the person or when the subject of the action, the doer, is
Uh,
just a second,
sorry, can you repeat that?
repetition.
Yeah,
The second application of passive voice is when the subject is
a chunk
a chunk. Incorrect. That has no relation.
when when the subject is
Mhm. The example we saw yesterday was with the authority. Why with authority is not necessary to say the authority? Somebody
I
help.
think Isaac have the answer.
Excellent, excellent movement, Rafa. Isaac, help us. Why?
I don't remember. I think that it was because the doer it was implicit in the phrase.
Nice. It's implicit in the phrase. Implicit in a way because it is obvious.
Yes.
So it's not that it's only implicit, it's super obvious who we are talking about, or sometimes it's irrelevant who we are talking about. A good example is this one over here. Her purse was stolen. One of the characteristics of passive voice is to avoid using words like someone, anyone, somebody, because you don't know the person. So if you say somebody stole her purse, well, it's not necessary to give emphasis to somebody because we don't know who the person is. Then
Yeah.
we need to do the change. When the person is irrelevant or obvious, you use passive voice. That's option number 2.
Okay.
Got it? Take a note about that. These are the two applications of passive voice. And let me check if I gave you that information. No, it's not there. So let's put that information here. Let me edit. Okay. Passive voice is used when you want to emphasize the object of the verb, and B, when the subject is too obvious or irrelevant. How do we know the subject is irrelevant? Well, usually because we use words like someone, somebody, anyone, or anybody.
Okay.
Even everybody.
Okay.
That's how we use it.
Let me take a screenshot.
Yes, please. I'm going to use the color green because we are talking about verbs. Is it better now?
Right, teacher.
Cool. Cool. There you go. I want you to have these two applications in mind because today we are going to practice conversation and you need to detect when the subject is irrelevant, when the subject is obvious, or when you want to emphasize the object. Okay, depending on you decide if you use passive voice or not. For the purpose of the activity, I suggest you use passive voice the most that you can. No, but in a real conversation, in a normal conversation, you take the decision in when you use passive voice and when you don't use passive voice. Okay, that's technically the objective of passive voice. Now, in order to pass to the conversation, we need to know construction, right? And this is going to be the lesson for today. Part 2, construction of the passive
Teacher,
voice. Yes, tell me.
Sorry, I can see your screen.
This one?
Oh, yeah.
Over there?
No.
That one. Yes, of course. Part two, construction of the passive voice, right? What do you mean construction? When we are talking about construction, we are talking about structure, collocation of words, parts of the sentence, etc. Right? Remember that passive voice is technically a structure. We're talking about structure number 9. The ones that I passed you yesterday on the document. And construction goes like this. The standard formula is the object of the sentence, then the verb be, and then the past participle. So technically, what we need to do is to transform the verb be in all the different structures that exist in English. So you can transform this verb to be according to the context that we are talking about. Okay? Let me show you the following slide. Here you will see some examples. In the first column, you have the column of the context of the conversation. I like to call them context of the conversation and not grammatical tenses, because grammatical tenses are complicated to understand sometimes. Some people dominate them, some people don't. I prefer to teach you with context of conversation. So let me add a part on the top that represents the title, the context of the conversation. The first one over here is present. Check your structure handbook and tell me what structure, what number of structure is present simple. You know, do, does.
Number 2, no?
Exactly. Very good. Structure number 2 is called present or routines. Right? Grammatical name, present simple, but in a context, we usually use it when you talk about routines, things that you repeat constantly or you don't do. This structure goes like this. English is spoken all over the world. Because in active voice is technically person verb complement. Let me add another. And you will obtain this. This is routines, passive, and routines, active. How do you change English is spoken all over the world into active? A normal sentence. How do you say it? How do you use it?
All the world speak English.
Excellent. Very good. Let's talk about that. All the world.
Maybe all the world are speaking English.
That's a good question. What's the difference between speak English and are speaking English?
The second one is an infinitive.
Well, grammatical terms are confusing. That's not well. Number one is not infinitive, and number two, let's try to avoid grammar because precisely it's confusing. When you say is all the world is speaking English, this is not a routine. I know it's present, but it's not a routine. You say is speaking English in this moment, right now.
Yeah.
You see? So the right now situation changes the context of the conversation. And
Yeah.
by consequence, changes the structure too. So it's not the same to say the world is speaking than the world speaks English.
For example, all the world is listening the Shakira song.
Oh, yes. Everybody, Jesus Christ, please stop. You know,
Yeah.
one day, and I am sick of that song. You know, Jesus Christ, it was too much. But that was a good thing. Is listen momentarily. When it's ing, verb to be an ing is momentary. And when it's the verb in present with termination s is a routine,
Yeah.
right? Which
Yeah.
precisely takes me to contrast the one over here, for example. It says here at the moment. Open the handbook again and tell me what structure is the one at the moment.
Four? Number four.
Number 4, right? Which is ing verbs.
Right now, actions.
Right now, actions. This is structure number 4. And we say at the moment. Look at the passive voice. It says, an English class is being given now, at the moment, in this moment, by Fernando, which is me. This column, this specific column, is the column of the verb be. Be conjugated. You see? This is the column that I need you to pay attention to. Because when you speak about conjugation, you need to think about the form of or the transformation of the verb be. The verb be is a verb, so you need to conjugate in the different forms. When you use the verb be in ing, how do you say be in ing? Guys, verb be in ing?
Being.
Yep, good. Pronunciation.
Being. Being.
I understand you are pronouncing. You are pronouncing bing.
Bang.
Bing. I don't understand this. Look at this. You have symbol E and symbol
Eh.
exactly. So you need to pronounce both and separate it.
Bien.
Excellent pronunciation. Listen to this.
Being.
You hear the double E? Bien, bien, bien is independent.
Okay.
You see, there are 2 syllables here. Every time you pronounce B in ing, pronunciation, guys, bien.
Okay. Being.
Pronunciation, guys, I cannot hear you.
Being.
Being.
Good. Again, Isaac.
Being.
Separate the syllable. Bien.
Being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Being.
That's the pronunciation. This is a classic mistake from intermediate speakers. The ing sounds independent and very different is the I to letter E. The letter E is very, very small. E and letter I is more open. E, E, Do you understand?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that is a demo of what happened to the verb be. What is the active form of the sentence that you have here? How do you say
Fernando
this?
is giving English class.
Exactly. English it starts with E, I, E, O, U.
An English
Um,
class.
Exactly. Be careful, eh? That is essential. You see? And there it is. In an active voice is the verb to be plus ing. And in the passive voice is the same, but we need an extra V. Do you see the extra
Yeah.
V?
Yeah.
That's the one. Perfect. Let's pass now to another one that has an extra V. Probably was is easy, no? I think
Teacher,
you dominate.
I think this is my main problem with the structure of this, all these, um, all this time of structure of times.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yeah, I think this is,
This is the main
yeah,
issue, right?
yeah,
Perfect. The reason this is a problem is because we memorize structures and formulas, but we don't associate them with occasions. In what occasions is necessary to use every structure, you know?
yeah,
So probably would be a good idea to review each of them. Let me show you. Let's review. Let's go here. And let's go through a structure review. We're going to learn how to associate each structure to its usage. And let's talk first about the main reason, on the main thing, the first thing that you need to consider is the time expression. People don't usually consider the time expression. I don't know why. Watch this. Time expression. Okay. I think I have a structure here. Let me check. I have a little a board already. Check this out. You need to use each of these formulas when you want to talk about these contexts.
Okay.
Let me help you with the association. Each of these contexts are associated to the handbook that I sent you, no? Let me open the handbook. So structure number 1 is descriptions and locations. Descriptions and locations is not here because it's the verb to be, no? It's very simple.
But for example, when you want to make uh, uh as suppo I don't know how to say supposition in English
That will be
or hypothesis.
okay. Hypothesis.
Hypothesis.
Hypo. Pronunciation.
Hypothesis.
Hypothesis.
How how can you make a hypothesis?
Great question. For that, we will go to the different intentions section.
Okay.
Because of course we don't have hypothesis explicitly, no?
Yeah.
Usually in this chart you have like the time and the order of time, etc. But a hypothesis is a very specific intention. For these specific intentions, we have something called modal verbs. And then you need to think about what modal verb can help me explain a possible future. Because a hypothesis is a prediction, no? An
Yeah.
idea that maybe happens, perhaps happens. What modal verb do you use for a possible future?
Good.
Can be. If I say, I would, if the my hypothesis is like this: if I open a new group, a lot of people would enter, no?
Okay.
That possibly sounds better if I use context number 5, modal verb number 5, probability in the future.
Okay, may.
If you want to talk about probabilities in the future, you use may. You can also use can, because would is for more imaginary situations, like I would love to travel. You see?
Yeah.
Therefore, that is not the best ones. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's the way you can select. So to dominate passive voice, you need to dominate all this information. Structures 1 to 8.
Yeah, I see.
You see? That's the one we use. Passive voice technically exists in every single structure. Every single structure. You can use passive voice in structure number 2. Passive voice in structure number 3. Passive voice in structure number 4. Present, past, future, modal verbs. All the structures can be passive voice. Right? So let me associate this chart to the handbook. This is structure number 2. Past is structure 3. Oh no. Let's locate this over here. Use structure 2 when you want to talk about routines. Use structure 3 when you want to talk about actions that happened. Then 4 and 5 are ing. We need to move this. Just a minute. Insert below. Insert below again. Excellent. I am a genius, guys. Structure 3, no, 4. Structure 5. Use the verb to be in past plus ing. Structure 6, which is experiences in your life, periods of time, everything that you have here. Experiences in your life, recent past, and time periods. Gossip and past before past, this is structure number 8. Do you remember the gossip, guys? Can you give me an example? Nice.
Yes, I'm thinking in an example.
Okay.
Maybe Fernando asked us, we could be an example.
And where is
No.
the past before past?
Yeah.
You need to use have. Give me an example, have.
No, this is example isn't wrong.
You told us that we have studied English, more English or something like that.
Had studied English. No, because that is not past before past. It's not relevant to say had before what, you know? Past before past is something that happened before another thing in the past. So you need 2 references in past.
Okay.
Another. Seven, 8. Lost it. Come on, guys. It was the previous level. For any of the new guys, do you know what is gossip?
No, I'm not sure about that.
That's a good question.
Yes.
You know,
Well,
Yeah, neither
Yes.
me.
but Isaac was given an idea.
Oh no, I think that it's maybe something that you could have no, you could have done instead of something else, or
No, you are talking about perfect modals, structure number 10.
okay, okay.
Yeah, no,
No,
this is different.
you know, then I don't know.
Okay, let's clarify structure number 8. Structure number 8 is used when it's relevant to say that something happened first. Okay? Especially imagine a crime scene. Somebody stole your phone. You know? You are in a party and you don't know where is your phone. So you start interrogating all your friends. Where were you 10 minutes ago?
Okay.
I was here. I was in the kitchen making the drinks. Okay. And you, Francisco, where were you 10 minutes ago? Well, I was watching the videos, the music videos, while Ramiro was in the kitchen making the drinks. Okay. And where was Silvana? Well, I hadn't come to the party before Ramiro turned on the television. Okay, so what happened first? Ramiro turned on the television or Silvana entered the party?
Okay.
The only way to know that is with the auxiliary had.
Yeah. For example, I had gone to my house before you lost your cell phone.
Exactly. Because you said had, I understand that you went to your house first.
Yeah.
I hadn't gone to your house before or after. Can you repeat your example?
I had gone to my house before you lost the phone.
Exactly. It's impossible that I have your phone because I had gone to my house. Exactly. I had entered the taxi before you lost your phone.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
The auxiliary had helps me understand what happened first. And if you analyze the second verb before you lost your phone is in past too.
Yeah.
So if you want to put one action, one relevant action in the past before another, you use had.
Okay.
This is super interesting. And this structure doesn't exist in Spanish. That's why
Yeah.
if you dominate it, you are a very good English speaker.
Yeah.
You see?
Thank you.
Take a note about that. In what occasions is necessary to say the order of events? I put the example of a cell phone when it's necessary to say, okay, I don't have your cell phone because I have been in my house for 2 hours before you told me about the cell phone. So for example, when you tell the story to the doctor, have you already when did the symptoms start? The symptoms started when last Friday. Okay. Well, do you have symptoms of COVID? You have a bleeding nose and headaches and fever. Hmm? Where had you been? Where had you been before the symptoms appear? You see? In this case, it's relevant to say what happened before my symptoms. This is structure number 8. Where had you been before the symptoms started? Do you understand it?
Yes, I think so.
What about Isaac?
Yes, I understand.
Give me an example. You, Isaac, give me an example. Isaac, you there?
Yes, sorry. Yes, I had some trouble with my internet.
Microphone. Okay.
Did you ask me for something?
Yes. I want you to make an example using structure
Ah,
8.
okay, yes. Well, let me see. Maybe I had cleaned my house before my dog destroy um, a plant or something like that.
Okay. So this is relevant. It's relevant to say what happened first and what happened later, but you need to consider that the story is happening in past and your verbs are in present.
Oh yes, I had cleaned. Is it a regular verb, right?
Yes, of
Cleaned,
course.
cleaned my house before my dog break it, no break broke break broke into the house.
Watch out, broke into because you said destroyed, no?
Yes, well, yes, I
Watch
think
out
that.
because break into is not a synonym. To break
Yes,
into is to
when
trespass.
yes, by therefore no, I think as it's destroyed works better.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes, so I had cleaned my house before my dog destroyed my plant.
Perfect. Yes, of course. So then now it's a mess,
Yes,
right? Now there's dirt everywhere. Mhm.
yes.
Very good. Very nice. Good guys. So now Robert and Mike, give me an example using instruction number 8.
Maybe I always have said hello to assistant
Okay.
when I arrived my spot.
You have always, when you arrive your spot, arrive to. Watch out for the connectors.
Okay, arrived to my spot.
Interesting. Very interesting. I had always said hello to the assistants when I arrived to my spot. You know what? Yes, but no, man, because, okay, grammatically your sentence is correct,
Okay.
but in context is not relevant to say what
Okay.
happened first and what happened later.
Okay.
You know, it's in this case, it's simple past.
Okay.
You know, you need to find an occasion when it's necessary to say this happened first and this happened later.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Try again.
I thinking.
Try again. What about Robert? Can you cover Mike?
Yes. I had studied English since kindergarten before I subscribed with Fernando Perez.
Good. Yes, that's a good example.
Okay.
I had. I would eliminate since kindergarten.
Okay. I had studied English. Before before I subscribed with Fernando Perez.
Exactly. That's the one. Why is not necessary to say since? Do you know?
Now,
Who wants to help here? Why is not necessary to say since kindergarten?
What is the example?
Let's repeat. Repeat the example, Robert.
the original.
Yeah.
Okay. I had studied English since kindergarten
Mhm.
before I subscribed with Fernando Perez. In my first idea was without since, but then I heard the explanation that you told at Mike, and I tried to put something or yes, and I tried to put something that describe or refer something that happened in the past or that happened in the past.
The reference is had. It's not necessary. You say had, and I understand past.
Okay.
Easy as that. That's the rest is only a complement, and the complement is for a different structure.
Okay.
Check this out. The expression since is not used in instruction number 8. You see? Since we use it when we are talking about periods of time.
Okay.
For example, I have studied with you since 2022. Or when you want to talk about experiences in your life. This structure is auxiliary have. See? That's why it's not necessary to use since because
Okay.
you are crossing two contexts that are not equal.
Okay.
¿Vale? So structure and use goes hand in hand. Together, always, always, guys. What structure is necessary? Well, it depends on the context of the conversation. What is my intention? What do you want to communicate? Difficult or easy?
More or less.
More or less, right?
Yeah, I have another example, I think.
Awesome.
Concentrate. I have called a policeman officer.
Okay.
When after the policeman arrived on the street.
I have called. So what happened first? The call?
The accident, for example. When I saw an accident, for example, I have called a police officer before I saw the accident.
Okay, then you need to check before or after.
After. It's after.
After, no, because I
Okay,
have-
before I learned the future. No.
exactly.
I think it's an example. I don't know.
I
It's
have
correct.
called the police after I saw the accident. Yes, that's correct. Mhm. No, wait, but after, man, after is contradictory to have
Yeah. Oh, okay.
because have is for the first thing that happened, not the second.
Okay.
What happened first, the
Okay.
accident
Okay.
or the call?
Yeah.
Answer my question. What happened first, the accident or the call?
The accident.
The accident. So the accident is had.
And this is I saw the accident.
You're talking in simple past. I repeat.
Okay.
Have is for the first thing that happened.
Okay. I have seen an accident
Exactly.
after I called a policeman.
After I called you. Okay, now eliminate after. Because you are putting the expression in a contradictory form again.
Okay.
Have happened before, not after.
Have before. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I have seen an accident
Mhm.
before I call a police officer.
That's much better.
Okay.
That's much better. The order is expressed by the had and the connector after or before.
Okay. Yeah.
If you want to
Gotcha.
say after, you need to invert the structures. Try to invert the structures and use after.
Okay. In this case, I have called a police officer.
Mhm. But you cannot use have because have is for the first action. The first action is the accident, right?
And yeah, I have seen an accident before
Before
I
I
called
call
the
the
police.
police. Invert the actions. Use after.
Okay, wait. Ah,
Try to.
I have called the police.
Eliminate have.
Yeah. I
Have is for
call.
the first. I
Yeah,
call.
cacho, yeah. Get it. I call an officer, police officer.
Officer. Okay, police officer.
Before
Before.
I have seen an accident.
Before.
After.
Exactly.
After.
Because you
Sorry.
are inverting the ideas.
Yeah, after, yeah. Catch.
You see?
I invert only the ideas, not the structure. Correct?
Exactly, not the structure.
Yeah.
You are only
Yeah.
changing the full idea, complete. And you change the connector. In this case, you can use after.
Yeah.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
That's precisely the application. Usually, had has a second idea that gives reference of time. The first idea always is had, and the second idea is simple past.
Okay.
If you invert, you use after. That's the way. Okay. All right then. Then in this case, we are going to transform all these we're going to transform these structures using now passive voice. Okay. Check this out. Let's use exercise 1. We are going to use this information, structures 1 to 8, use the time expression. Let me change, because you cannot see, right? Okay. Use a corresponding time expression to each structure and make an example. Passive voice. And make an example in passive voice, right? Remember to conjugate the verb be correct according to the structure. This is going to be the exercise. Use a corresponding time expression to each structure. For that, open the Structures Handbook. Okay, in the Structures Handbook, you have the time expression that correspond to each structure. And then make an example. For this particular exercise, you will need to use transitive verbs. What are transitive verbs? Verbs that need an object. If the idea it doesn't have an object, it's impossible to use passive voice. Okay. The verbs that you can take for inspiration are the verbs that we saw yesterday. Inventions. What are they? Let me find them. Here. You can use these verbs for inspiration. Okay, so let's get to it. Number 1, Isaac, give me an example using structure number 2 in passive voice.
Okay, sure. For example, dishes are washed by me at night.
Very nice. Can you repeat again?
Dishes are washed by me at night.
Okay, very nice. What is the pronunciation of wash in passive?
Washed. I don't know actually.
All right. When you talk about regular verbs, you
Yes.
need to use the 3 rules. If the verb ends in a voiceless sound like s or sh, the pronunciation is t.
Washed.
Exactly.
Washed.
So
Dishes are washed by.
Are washed.
By me at night.
Very nice. Routine. Excellent example. Think of another example, guys. Let's wait for Jessie because Jessie will pass attendance. Hello, Jess.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks to you.
So I will take attendance, please. Mike.
Here.
Hi, Mike. Thank you. Robert.
Here.
Hi, Robert. Thank you. Rafael.
Hello, yes.
Hi,
Here.
Rafael. Thank you. Good night. Silvana?
I think that she's absent.
Oh, right.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Isaac?
Here,
Hi, Isaac. Thank you.
thanks.
So that's all. Have a nice night.
You too, girl. Thank you.
See you.
Perfect. Next example, go Rafa. Give me one structure number 2. We continue in structure number 2.
Teacher, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Those verbs are not exclusive. Use passive voice, right? We choose how can I say whatever verb,
Any verb.
any verb.
Yes and no. Well, these are not exclusive because nothing in English is exclusive,
Mhm,
but they
mhm.
are the most commonly used because the
Ah,
context
okay.
permits.
Mm,
You know, so make sure in this case you need to make sure that the context permits a passive voice.
mm.
You see, it's the context that the most important part. The conversation needs, you know, the two practices, no? A, when the object receives the action,
Mhm, mhm, okay.
or
Okay.
B, when the subject is irrelevant.
Okay.
Right? These are the two contexts that you need to have in mind. Then let's try. Rafa, give me one for a routine. Remember to use a time expression, eh?
For what structure?
Structure 2.
Another example.
Yes.
Yeah. Homework are done by me at morning.
Nice. Homework plural or singular?
Homework is, oh, I don't know. Homework. Well, it can be both, no?
If it's uncountable, it's always singular. Always.
Okay. Homework is
Exactly.
done by me at 7 o'clock.
Excellent. Good example. Very good. Another one. Michael.
My room and the hotel was open.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's a crime, man. A criminal entered the room, right?
Yeah.
Good example. Good example. Next, Robert. Oh, wait. No, Michael, you are speaking in past. This is not valid.
Oh, sorry.
You were talking about routines, brother.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe my room at the hotel is cleaned at 10 o'clock.
Aha, very nice. My room at the hotel is cleaned at 10. Very nice. That's a routine.
Mhm.
You see, guys, that is very different to speak about the context of the conversation and not grammar.
Yeah.
Simple present, past perfect, present perfect. That grammar is not necessary, not relevant for conversations. You know, this is relevant for conversations. Next.
Breakfast brothers
Breakfast brothers.
or breakfast of my brother.
Huh. Ah, okay. You want to speak about possession.
Possession. Mhm.
Okay, we need to check that, man. If you are talking about possession, the apostrophe S
Mhm.
is the person who possesses the thing. For example, in McDonald's restaurant, who possesses the restaurant?
McDonald's.
McDonald's, you see? So the first part is the, the person, the possessor.
Ah, Brothers Breakfast.
Brothers breakfast. He said, now what brothers breakfast?
Brothers. The idea is Brothers Breakfast is cooking. Is cooked by my mother.
Nice. Whose brother? Or what brother?
Well, older brother.
What brother? Or what older brother? Whose older brother?
Whose other brother?
Yeah.
Other brother. Whose other brother? No.
If you say older brother, older brother of who?
Other brother of me.
Of me, no? So what is necessary here? What is necessary that you're to indicate that your brother is your brother?
Um, older brother's breakfast.
The possessive.
Uh-huh.
Whose older brother? Whose? What is the answer to the question? Whose?
My
Exactly.
my brother.
So, uh-huh.
My brother's breakfast
My brother's breakfast. Excellent.
is cooked by my mother.
It's cooked by my mother. Excellent. This is a routine. Time expression.
My brother in the morning.
In the morning. Excellent. Very good. Very, very nice. Those are examples, guys. Let's go now and talk in past. Number one, Isaac.
Yes, maybe um, the window was broken
Mhm.
by a rock.
Mhm. Time expression.
um, yesterday.
Yesterday. Is it relevant to say the rock?
Yes, well, no, not actually.
Because I understand that the rock has life, you know.
Yes. And that
And
the rocks do something, no?
exactly. Uh-huh.
Okay, okay, I get it.
And really, it was somebody.
Yes,
So that one is
it's
not
not
necessary.
necessary. Yes.
The window was broken yesterday. That makes more sense. Much more sense.
Yes.
Very good, man. Next, Rafa.
Yes, let me see. Okay. Um, um, Yeah, I have it. The Picasso's paint was no. Another ask another.
Okay.
The book was written in the 1970.
Very good. What is the connector for the year?
Written in
Incorrect. When you talk about on in no.
at
Wait. In 1970. No, yes, it's in. Sorry.
yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
you are correct. I get confused because when you say dates, you say on.
Okay.
For example, my birthday is on October 22nd. But when you say years, yes, you say in.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
Next, Michael.
Facebook was created since years ago, many years ago. Oh,
Okay. Nice. Very nice. I like it. In this case, it's impossible to use since,
okay.
because created is not something
Uh-huh.
that you do for a period of time. Only
Okay.
one time.
Okay.
See? Good.
Yeah, catch.
Good. And last but not least, Robert.
The plane was invented by brothers,
Yeah. What were the brothers?
right?
The Wright brothers? Oh, yes. I remember. Exactly. You get the idea, people. Excellent. We are speaking using passive. For homework, yes, Rafa.
Sorry, I had to leave the session because I have to go
Somewhere.
go.
No problem. That we are finished with the session, but just really fast. Homework. Complete this chart with one example, please.
Okay, I have a screenshot.
Exactly. Screenshot everybody, and tomorrow we check your examples.
Cool. Thank you,
All
teacher.
right.
See
Have a
you.
good night, guys. We finished for today. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you,
Okay.
teacher.
Bye.
Bye, guys. See you later. Study. Have a nice day.